The night the village lost power, everything changed for Ayaan, because in that sudden darkness he finally heard his own thoughts for the first time in years. Dogs barked far away, lanterns flickered in shaky hands, and a warm wind moved slowly through the narrow dusty lanes of his small Punjabi village. He stood on his rooftop in Champa, watching shadows slide across old mud walls while distant generators hummed like tired insects. In that strange silence, he felt something inside him crack open, as if a long-closed door had finally been pushed. If you enjoy real-life stories that shift your mindset and help you grow stronger, please like this video and subscribe to MindShift Tales right now, because what you are about to hear might quietly change how you live. Ayaan had spent most of his 30 years saying yes to everyone, even when his body was tired and his heart felt heavy. Yes to extra hours in the wheat fields under burning sun. Yes to lending money he had saved for his own family. Yes to late-night favors, early morning errands, and endless small requests that slowly stole his peace. People praised his kindness in tea shops and at mass gates, but inside he felt drained, unnoticed, and strangely invisible. His father had taught him to serve others with humility, and his mother had taught him patience through hard seasons, but no one had ever taught him how to protect his time, his energy, or his quiet moments. The village of Champa was full of simple joys like shared meals and evening walks, but also full of silent expectations that pressed gently yet constantly. Neighbors dropped by without warning, sometimes just to talk, sometimes to ask for help. Relatives expected free labor because family always came first. Friends borrowed tools and returned them late or broken, promising to fix them someday. Ayaan smiled through everything, even when his back ached and his sleep grew lighter each week. His wife Sarah noticed the weight on his shoulders long before he did, watching how he moved slower at dusk and stared longer at the ground. She would pour him tea beside the courtyard neem tree and ask soft questions about his day. He would answer with jokes, shrug his shoulders, and quickly change the topic. One evening, after harvesting wheat from sunrise to sunset, Ayaan collapsed onto a wooden bench, feeling his arms shake. His hands trembled slightly, and his chest felt tight like a rope had been pulled around it. Sarah sat beside him, held his hand, and said quietly that you cannot pour from an empty cup. He laughed to hide his discomfort, but her words followed him into the night. The next morning, the village elder Ramesh arrived with a familiar list of favors spoken in a friendly voice. He wanted Ayaan to organize part of the upcoming festival, repair a broken well pump, and lend his tractor for 2 days. Ayaan opened his mouth to agree, as he always did, already planning how he would manage somehow. Then he paused, feeling his heartbeat in his ears. He remembered the dark rooftop, the warm wind, and Sarah's tired eyes. He took a slow breath and said that he could help with the pump, but he could not do everything this time. Ramesh blinked, clearly surprised by the answer. The air between them felt heavy, like before a storm. For the first time in years, Ayaan felt fear and relief rise together in his chest. News travels fast in villages, especially when someone changes. By afternoon, whispers moved from house to house, crossing courtyards and market stalls. Some said Ayaan had become proud, some said marriage had made him soft. A few smiled quietly and said it was about time someone learned balance. That evening, his cousin Farid asked him to cover a late shift at the rice mill because another worker had gone home early. Ayaan checked his aching back, thought of his waiting family, and gently said no. Farid frowned, clearly not used to hearing that word from him. Ayaan walked home while the sky turned orange, then took a slow walk with Sarah along the canal where birds skimmed the water. He told her he felt guilty for choosing himself. She told him that guilt is often the price of growth. Days passed, and Ayaan began practicing something completely new in his life. He practiced clear words instead of silent suffering. He practiced kind refusals instead of forced smiles. He practiced leaving gatherings on time instead of staying until exhaustion. He practiced keeping one evening each week just for family meals and quiet talks. At first, people tested him with surprise visits and urgent requests. They arrived unannounced at his door. They pushed deadlines and told emotional stories about loyalty. Ayaan listened with respect, thanked them honestly, and stayed steady in his decisions. Slowly, something unexpected happened across Champa. Respect began replacing pressure in small daily moments. Requests became more reasonable and more planned. His work in the fields improved because his mind felt calm instead of crowded. Sarah laughed more at home, and their small son started waiting every evening for their short walks under fading light. Ayaan also found better ways to support the village without burning himself out. He taught younger farmers simple planting methods that saved water and effort. He organized a shared tool schedule so everyone had fair access. He showed neighbors how to fix small engines instead of doing every repair himself. Because he was no longer exhausted, his help became smarter, stronger, and more meaningful. One afternoon, Ramesh visited again, this time with a softer smile. He thanked Ayaan for repairing the pump and said the festival committee had found other volunteers for the remaining work. Ayaan smiled back, feeling a quiet pride. He finally understood that boundaries did not make him selfish. They made him useful in the right places at the right times. Weeks later, a heavy storm flooded the low fields and pushed muddy water toward village homes. Villagers gathered with worried faces and tired eyes, unsure what to do first. Ayaan stepped forward calmly, shared a simple plan, and gave everyone clear roles. People followed without argument. By sunset, water was moving away, crops were saved, and children were laughing near dry doorsteps. Standing ankle-deep in mud, Ayaan felt strong in a way he never had before. He had not done everything himself. He had done what truly mattered. If this story connects with you, write in the comments what boundary you need to set in your own life, and please share this video with someone who feels overwhelmed right now. That night, under a sky filled with quiet stars, Ayaan thanked Sarah for believing in him when he could not. She thanked him for finally choosing himself and his family. He thought about how many lives shift when one person learns to say no with kindness. In Champa, people still borrowed sugar and shared meals like always. They still argued about cricket scores and prayed for good rain. But they also learned that real kindness grows best inside clear limits. Ayaan protected his mornings, kept his evenings, and gave his best hours to his family and his work. And every time someone asked for too much, he answered with honesty and calm. The power of boundaries turned a tired helper into a steady leader. It turned noise into focus. It turned fear into freedom. From all of us at MindShift Tales, thank you for watching. And remember that your life changes the moment you decide what you will accept and what you will not.